In the electric air of the Forum in Inglewood, California, two fighters stood at the crossroads of destiny. On one side, the Argentine warhorse, Lucas Matthysse, a bruiser whose career had been forged in the fires of relentless competition. Known for his punching power and aggressive style, Matthysse had a hunger that could not be satisfied by anything less than a world title. Across from him stood the undefeated Tewa Kiram, the pride of Thailand, a young, physically gifted welterweight with the potential to shock the world. His calm demeanor and methodical approach made him an intriguing challenger, but he was entering the lion's den. For Matthysse, this fight was more than just another bout. It was his chance to claim the elusive WBA world title, to finally secure the glory that had thus far eluded him. The atmosphere was palpable, the tension mounting with every second that passed before the bell. The crowd, energized and eager, waited for a spectacle, one that would deliver the drama only the ring can provide. As the fighters made their way to the center of the ring, each with their own dream in sight, the entire arena held its collective breath. The opening bell sounded, and the fight began with the sound of leather meeting leather, a symphony of aggression and strategy. Matthysse, with his signature pressure, immediately took the center of the ring, his eyes locked on Kiram, as if to say, "You may be undefeated, but I am here to take that away from you." Kiram, though the younger and seemingly quicker man, showed composure. His jab was crisp, attempting to keep the aggressive Matthysse at bay. Early on, it was clear that Matthysse was not here to play. He was determined, stalking his prey with a ferocity that only a man with something to prove could possess. However, Kiram's defense was solid, and for every punch Matthysse landed, Kiram found a way to slip, block, or counter with precision. The first few rounds were a test of wills, Mathisse's raw power and experience against Kiram's poise and technical skill. With every jab Kiram threw, Matthysse responded with two punches of his own. The fight was already shaping up to be a chess match in the form of a battle. Yet, despite the back and forth, Mathisse's power was the constant threat in the air. As the rounds progressed, the intensity built, each fighter finding moments of brilliance. Matthysse began to close the distance, letting his fists fly with destructive intent. The Argentine fighter's overhand right was his weapon of choice, throwing it with such speed and force that it seemed as though the ring itself might collapse under the weight of it. Kiram, though, showed resilience, a rare characteristic in such a young fighter. He took the shots, absorbed the punishment, and kept his head cool. His jab was still there, flicking out like a whip to keep Matthysse at bay. But the cracks were beginning to show in Kiram's defense. A few moments after a bruising exchange in the fourth round, Matthysse landed a right hand that snapped Kiram's head back, a reminder of the power the Argentine carried in his fists. The crowd erupted, sensing the turning of the tide. Matthysse was clearly gaining momentum, each punch pushing Kiram closer to the edge. It was as if Matthysse knew the moment had arrived, and he was willing to do whatever it took to seize it. By round 5, Kiram was feeling the effects of Mathisse's onslaught. The young Thai fighter's face had begun to show the wear of battle, a cut near his eyebrow, marking the toll the fight had taken. Matthysse, sensing vulnerability, intensified his attack. His right hand became a constant threat, connecting with more regularity, as Kiram struggled to maintain the same composure he had displayed in the early rounds. But the young Thai wasn't backing down. With every round, he fought through the pain and fatigue, desperate to make his mark in the fight and in the world. The crowd's energy swelled as the fight neared its middle rounds, a sense of inevitability starting to take root. Matthysse, the seasoned veteran, was on the hunt. Kiram was forced to dig deep, his punches now coming in fewer numbers and with less effect. Matthysse had found his rhythm, and the power in his punches seemed to increase with every passing second. With his brother-in-law, Mario Narvaez, in his corner, Matthysse had more than just his own legacy to fight for. He fought for his family, his nation, and the dream of a world title. Then the turning point came in round 7, a right hand, a thunderous shot that landed cleanly on Kiram's temple. The crowd gasped as Kiram's legs buckled and his body swayed before he crumpled to the canvas. Time slowed as the referee began his count. Kiram struggled to rise, but the count continued, the noise of the crowd becoming a distant roar in the back of his mind. Matthysse stood over him, focused and poised, knowing that the moment to finish the fight had arrived. But Kiram wasn't done yet. With the heart of a warrior, he managed to get back to his feet, proving that his undefeated record was no fluke. However, the damage had been done. Matthysse was in control now, smelling blood in the water. His punches were sharper, quicker, and more aggressive than ever. Kiram, exhausted and battered, tried to fight back, but the Argentine's power was overwhelming, like a freight train heading straight for him. The 8th round arrived with a sense of finality hanging in the air. Matthysse, confident and relentless, continued his pursuit. Kiram, though still dangerous, had nothing left in the tank. With a brutal right hand, Matthysse delivered the final blow. Kiram's body collapsed once again, this time unable to rise. The referee immediately stepped in, signaling the end of the contest. The arena erupted into a frenzy of cheers as Lucas Matthysse fell to his knees in triumph. The long road, the years of struggle and sacrifice, had led to this moment. He had achieved what so many had doubted, becoming the WBA Welterweight Champion of the world. As the referee's hand was raised in victory, Matthysse could finally breathe a sigh of relief. He had silenced the critics, and in doing so, had carved his name into the history books. For Kiram, the night was not his, but the experience would serve as a foundation for his future. He had faced one of the hardest hitters in the division, and had lived to tell the tale. As the final bell rang and the official announcement was made, the weight of the moment was undeniable. At 1 minute 21 seconds of round number 8, the winner by knockout, the new WBA Welterweight Champion of the world, Lucas Matthysse. The crowd roared in approval as Matthysse raised his arms in victory, his faith a mixture of exhaustion and triumph. For the fighter from Argentina, this was not just a win in the record books. It was a symbol of perseverance. Every punch, every round, every moment of doubt had led to this. The WBA title was his. But more than that, the respect of boxing fans worldwide was now his as well. He had earned it with blood, sweat, and the kind of power that could end a fight with a single punch. Kiram, though defeated, held his head high, knowing he had fought with everything he had. The night would belong to Matthysse, but the respect between these two warriors was clear. In the end, this was a fight for the ages, one where legends were made, and for Lucas Matthysse, it was the night he finally took his place among them.